everybody, Remrov here again. I'm a classic artist who makes these videos to educate about autism and to build a bridge in between the autistic and neurotypical world, and I hope to be a voice for non-verbal autistic people. In this video I like to talk more about the spoon analogy, which is quite interesting. So a few days ago I read an article about the spoon analogy. It was actually written by a person who has lupus, and she made up the spoon analogy when a friend asked her how lupus affects her life and what it feels like to have lupus. And I don't have lupus, I have autism, like you know, but I really find it extremely recognizable, this analogy, and how she explained it all, and especially regarding to my energy. And I've also heard from other autistic people, and they also really recognize what this person was saying. So I'll explain it to you, what this whole spoon analogy is all about. Normally, people can just do whatever they want in a day without getting extremely tired or exhausted. They don't really have to worry about it. They can just do the activities they have planned, unless they really go overboard, of course, but they don't really get like extremely exhausted over normal day activities. But when you have autism, or for example, lupus, like this person who made up this analogy, or you have a burnout or something else like that, it doesn't really work like this. You wake up, when you have autism, for example, you wake up with a limited amount of spoons of energy every morning. And every activity you do in the day takes away a spoon, or more than one spoon, depending on the activity you're doing. So, if you run out of spoons in a day, you just don't have the energy anymore to do anything else. So you have to be really careful how to spend your day, that you don't run out of spoons too early in your day. And if you cross the line, if you spend too many spoons, then you wake up with less and less spoons the next few days. So I really noticed this, like especially over the last few months. I mean, I've always had it, but I really realized it until a few months ago that, yeah, this is quite an issue for me, and that my supply of energy is quite limited. I wake up with quite a lot of spoons and quite a lot of normal amount of energy, I think, just like everybody else. But activities take so extremely much out of me that I run out of spoons around 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the day, or even earlier than that. So I have to be careful that I design my day in such a way that I can be very productive, but without spending too many spoons of energy. So let's say every morning I wake up with 15 spoons of energy. And my morning routine, for example, takes away, just a second, I'm just gonna get Flappy. Pilar, come up, Pilar. And he's just really walking around lately a lot, and a lot of energy, which is a good thing also. But sometimes he goes places, and yeah, it's just safer for him to stay with me. So I wake up with 15 spoons in the morning. But my morning routine, eating breakfast, taking a shower, taking care of Peter, takes 3 spoons. So then I have 12 spoons left for the rest of the day. Working on a drawing is always very relaxing for me, and I can do this well with the rest of the spoons until like 3 o'clock, maybe 4 o'clock, and then my spoons will be about gone. But it doesn't really work like that. I have a lot of other things to do besides just working on a drawing. I have to answer emails, for example. Depending on how many emails I have to send, but it's always communicating and it takes a lot out of me. So here go 3 spoons again. Then, of course, it's important to keep your apartment clean. So we vacuum clean. That's what I always do. It's another 3 spoons, which means I have 6 spoons left for the rest of the day. So if I have anything social planned on a day, anything social like meeting somebody, it will take about 6 spoons. That will definitely take it out of me, because socializing is just, it takes a lot of energy out of me. It's quite difficult for me. So when I have something social planned for a day, like meeting somebody, then I always make sure I have more than 6 spoons left, because otherwise I'm just completely drained. So then I leave vacuum cleaning, for example. I'll do that the next day. I can wait for or I'll wait with answering emails, for example. But I do design it in a way so that it's manageable for me. Some things will take even more energy out of me, more spoons. For example, when I travel with public transportation, especially to a social meeting, and I have to take the metro and the bus, it will take 3 spoons on top of the 6 spoons for the socializing. So that's 9 spoons in total. So that's practically all I can do in one day. An appointment with a dentist. That is, I find the dentist extremely scary, extremely nerve-wracking. And I'm always very nervous when I'm lying in the chair. All my muscles are extremely tense. I can't relax them. I've tried, but it just doesn't work. It's just too unpredictable to lie in a dentist chair. So it will practically take up all the spoons I have for a day. So on a day when I go to the dentist, I just have to accept, okay, this is what my day is just going to be about. I have to go to the dentist, it's necessary, and it's going to take me away from my drawings and my other work that I actually prefer to do. And that's just something I have to accept. How many spoons an activity takes depends also on a few different aspects. Like, for example, if I have a social meeting with somebody, do I know the person who I have a meeting with? Or is it a person I feel comfortable with? And do I find it easy to communicate with this person or not? The space that we have a meeting in, is it loud? Or will there be a lot of other people around? Things like that. When it's an extremely loud environment or I don't feel comfortable, then my spoons disappear quite fast. So it's, like I said, it's just recently, like a few months, that I really started to realize, okay, I have to really manage my life in such a way so that it's doable for me and that I can be really productive without spending too many spoons of energy. And it would be easier if I had everything that happens in a day under control, but unfortunately that's not the case. Often a lot of unpredictable things happen in a day, and I have to deal with that and spend spoons of energy on that instead of the things that I planned to do on that day. For example, not long ago I needed to go to the dollar store. It's actually something really simple. I needed to go to the dollar store to buy art supplies for an art exhibition. And it was still quite early in the morning, so I had a lot of spoons of energy left. But when I entered the store, there was a lady, and I met her about once before, and she's actually quite a nice lady, but she's also extremely talkative. And she started to talk to me. And she started to ask me questions about my art and my drawings. And she kept going on about her own activities and the things she was up to lately. And she kept on going and going and going about that for about 20 minutes. And it totally drained me. When she finally left, I was so extremely tired and drained. And then I still had to get all those things for my art exhibition. So I tried to focus on my list of the things I needed to get, but I just couldn't concentrate anymore. The shopping is already a bit chaotic for me, but when I'm that tired and drained, it just becomes impossible for me to focus. So even though I tried, I couldn't find anything I needed. And after a while, I just decided to go home and to just go back on a different day. And when I came home, I decided to work on my drawing a bit, but I realized that I didn't even have energy for that anymore. My hand was a bit shaky, and so it is an unpredictable meeting like that with a person who really, talks a lot like that. It can really decide the rest of my day. So I've been really focusing lately on how to spend my day in the most smart and balanced way, and to plan things together, combine things so that they take up less energy and less spoons, and that my spoons last longer than until 2 p.m. in the day, in the afternoon. I also say no to activities. I find it always difficult to say no to people, but I really try to say no if activities are not like very productive or helpful or fun, and if they don't really add anything, then if it's just not worth it, I just say no to it. I'm still learning how to balance everything, so if you're also struggling with it, it's a bit difficult for me to give advice to people who also struggle with it, besides saying that it's important to be aware of it and to be aware of how much energy certain activities cost, and to plan your day in a smart way like that. And it's also important not to be too hard on yourself. Like when you're tired, then you just have to accept that, and it's important not to overdo it, because then you're going to be paying for it the rest day or the day after that. And for me, the spoon analogy really helps because it makes it really visible, so it might also help for you. It's very important to also realize it with work, with a full-time job, for example. For me, a full-time job is extremely difficult, would be extremely difficult if I had a full-time job. It would only be possible if certain reasonable accommodations are made. For example, if my employer and my co-workers are aware of the fact that I have to spend my lunchtime a bit quietly, or by myself or one other person, but not too much socializing, so that I can recharge my battery a little bit, instead of that my battery is drained even more by socializing. And if the job itself doesn't require too much socializing, that will also be better for me, to be able to do a full-time job, for example. And if I would work somewhere and there's a lot of sounds continuously, loud sounds, and a lot of chaos and a lot of people, a lot of socializing, then my spoons of energy would disappear extremely fast. So I hope you this was it. I hope you found it useful, and let me know if you have any questions or any comments. Just send me a message or a comment below this video. Pilaf and I wish you a great day, and we hope to see you with our next videos again. Bye!